This is the second half of the tree species we thought it'd be important to cover in this episodic overview of Lullwater Preserve. While some of these trees may not be as prevalent as the ones mentioned in the previous episode, they can all be found along the main paths of Lullwater Preserve and all have interesting and unique attributes. So without further ado, the sycamore is a very large tree that can easily grow to over 100 feet tall. The leaves are simple, alternate, and large, with typically 3 to 5 lobes. It appears very similar to a maple leaf, so look carefully. The most distinguishing feature of the sycamore, other than its height, is the way the bark peels off partway up the tree to reveal a very white, smooth surface. This occurs for all the trunk and branches above the point of peeling. The sycamore is clearly a canopy tree and ranges across the entire eastern half of the United States. The loblolly pine is a very large evergreen tree that can grow 80 to 100 feet tall and grows at a very fast rate, as much as 24 inches a year. Just as a reminder, evergreen trees keep their leaves or needles year-round. The needles of the loblolly pine usually grow in groups of 3 and can reach lengths of 10 inches. The bark is easy to distinguish, with a dark brown color and large flaky-looking patches. Loblolly pines also take over old fields and cut over land very quickly because of their rapid growth in juvenile stages. They range across the entire southeastern United States. The southern magnolia is also an evergreen tree, but instead of needles it has broad, dark green, leathery leaves that grow in simple, alternate fashion. Like other magnolias in low water, the southern magnolia has smooth bark, but unlike other magnolias, it grows much taller, thicker, and the leaves grow far smaller than the other gigantic magnolia leaves. Unfortunately, the southern magnolia is becoming invasive because it's originally native to the coastal plain and was originally planted around Emory as an ornamental tree. The American sweet gum is a gorgeous tree in fall because its star-shaped leaves turn picturesque colors of yellow, orange, red, and purple. The leaves have palmate venation with usually 5 lobes, hence the star shape. The bark of the trunk is rather nondescript, with common furrows, but the bark of the branches has small outgrowths called wings on them, not to be confused with a winged elm. So looking at the leaves is your best bet. The sweet gum ranges across the entire southeastern United States and up the east coast quite a ways as well. The eastern redbud is a smaller tree, sometimes called a large shrub, with many defining characteristics. Firstly, the simple, alternate leaves are heart-shaped and have palmate venation. Secondly, the tree grows many seed pods that are very easy to pick out, especially in the fall when the pods turn brown. And thirdly, the eastern redbud is known as a harbinger of spring, as it flowers intensely purple around April. Interestingly, the tree also flowers from a young age, as early as 4 years old. The redbud is typically found across the southeastern United States, but not along the Gulf or East Coasts. The bald cypress is an interesting tree for a couple of reasons. It is a deciduous conifer, meaning it has needles that fall off for winter. It also has strange root growths called knees that no one knows the importance of. The leading theory is that these knees are used for oxygen capture. This tree is accustomed to swamps, so you may only be able to find a few on the main path around Candler Lake. There's one at the beginning of the strip of land that connects the main path to the island. But in other less traveled parts of the preserve, there's a whole host of them due to swampier conditions created from dredging the lake. These trees were in fact planted there by our professor. Because of their habitat restrictions, they are found in a smaller section of the southeastern United States. The black cherry is a medium-sized tree with long, thin, simple alternate leaves similar to a sourwood. The bark can be much darker than many other trees, sometimes going to black, and has distinctive horizontal patches along the trunk. Many of the patches around the midriff of the tree ooze golden-colored amber. If no amber is visible, check the leaves for a fuzzy-looking orange growth on the underside at the base of the stems. As a pioneer species, meaning they are one of the first species to inhabit recently disrupted areas, they have an enormous natural range, spanning the entire eastern half of the United States. The sassafras is a medium-sized tree with very strange, aromatic leaves. The leaf shape varies, but usually looks like a mitten with 2 lobes. These leaves have a very brilliant orange color in the fall, and if you can get hold of one, crush it up and smell it, because it smells extraordinarily like Fruit Loops. There are 2 sassafras trees very close to the intersection of the path past Claremont campus and the path around Candler Lake, if you are interested. The sassafras also has a very large range, spanning almost the entirety of the eastern half of the United States, with the only exception being the farthest northern areas of Maine. The silver bell is a small to medium-sized tree and is another beautiful harbinger of spring, as it flowers numerous pure white, bell-shaped flowers that carpet the ground beneath it. Besides seeing the flowers, the bark is also very distinctive because of the silvery and yellow stripes that stand out against the majority of grayish-brown bark. The silverbell has the smallest range of all the trees discussed here, naturally growing in pockets throughout the southeastern United States, with the majority occurring in the southern Appalachians and surrounding area. As you can see, each tree discussed here is unique and makes Lullwater Preserve more diverse and interesting to experience. Identifying trees can be tough because many trees have similar characteristics. Make sure to look at all the different facets of the tree: the bark, the leaves, the flowers if visible, the seeds, and the location to reach the best conclusion. Good luck.